Good evening and blessings, everybody out there. What's going on? It's your man, Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Listen, super excited to be coming to you here on this Saturday evening. Man, I have been busy. Generational Wealth Builders are growing. We're growing in leaps and bounds. And as a result of that, I don't have as much time as I used to have to be able to come and sit down and chop it up with you. But I purposely made it my business tonight to be able to sit down here and chop it up with you all. So I hope you'll go out there. Hope you'll tell somebody, hey, there that crazy fella go again. He's on. I hope that you would like, share, and even comment back and forth with me on tonight, because I do believe that we have a very interesting topic to talk about tonight. Something that I think is on a lot of people's minds. Yeah, we're going to have some good conversation about that. So really super excited. Again, want to give a shout out to the Generational Wealth Builders out there. Man, again, y'all are killing it. Y'all are keeping my wife and I super busy. So again, we definitely want to thank you all for that, because again, that is a good problem. That means that we are helping more families than beforehand. And I told y'all 2024 was a great year for us. Again, I want to shout out my wife as she is the COO of Generational Wealth Builders, and we saw about a 25% growth under her. And I ain't hating at all. Matter of fact, she could be the CEO if she want to. Again, go on, keep the growth going, baby. So again, definitely want to shout out Lady Hickman, give her some love. So when y'all see her out there in the mean streets, show her some love and say, well, you go, girl, right? Give her a you go, girl. And I'm quite sure she'll appreciate that. Listen, by way of announcement, again, we do also want to let you all know that we have satellite offices. We're super proud of our Union City team, ran by Ozell and Vicky Fraziers, the CEOs of Generational Wealth Builders United up there in the Union City area. So again, we're super proud of them, super proud of everything that they have going on. So again, when you see them in the street, show them some love. As well as our Alabama office is taking off. Again, we have a Congress of people down there that have worked together and are leading the charge. We have Anthony and Tunji Dowdell down there working with Lady Bam, Andrea Watkins Orr, who was the first one to have an office for Generational Wealth Builders there in the Huntsville, Decatur area. So again, if you see them in the streets, show them some love. They have a quorum of people that are out there working with them. Again, helping families save, grow, and make money. Again, we're doing some great things around here, and I can't wait to see what Richard and Lamisha Hughes are going to do down there in the South Florida area, down there in the where's that Port St. Lucie area. Again, super excited. Some big stuff in the come from America's Next Top Power Couple. So again, super duper excited about what we have going on. All right, so on tonight, we are in a position where what we're doing is we are helping families figure out what's going on. And with that being said, we know that right now people are losing their minds, right? People are concerned about their jobs. People are just nervous about everything that's going on. And again, with some folk have every reason to be. I'm not here to tell you how to feel, but again, some people have reason to be scared. But what I always want to do with people is, if you just have fear, that's all you're going to have. You're never going to resolve the problem, right? You're never going to resolve that problem. So tonight, what I did, I felt it necessary to talk a little bit about the way the wealthy talk about. Now, as a kid, I used to love to play Monopoly, right? I used to love to play Monopoly because Monopoly is a game where you start out with a little bit of money, and then by chance, you roll the dice and you try to grow your empire. Yes? Yes, I love that. I love the fact of being able to have the chance to grow my wealth. I can remember making deals like, hey, man, I'll trade you this for this. Okay, you got this and I got this. I'll buy that from you, especially when you want to try to negotiate. If somebody landed on, if you got Boardwalk or Park Place and somebody else landed on it, right? Then you would negotiate with them and say, hey, man, look at here. I'll let you, I'll buy it from you. And if you land on it, I'll give you at least 2 free lands, right? At least that's how we play. But with that being said, what the game of Monopoly teaches us at a young age is something very, very crucial that I don't think we as adults pay attention to. It teaches us about understanding your net worth, right? There is a card in the community chest and the chance side that say, all right, you got to pay 10% of your stuff, or you got to pay a tax on everything that you own, right? And for some people that bankrupt them, right? For some people that put them in a spot. And that's where I want to talk about tonight, right? With everything that's going on, you need to know your net worth, right? A lot of people don't know what their net worth is. A lot of people, don't understand the value of knowing your net worth. But if I could basically make it plain for you, what your net worth is, it shows how long you could survive if you never got another paycheck coming in, right? That's the easiest way to look at your net worth, right? How long could you survive before you had to start liquidating your assets, before you had to start selling and pawning stuff out your house? How long can you go before you actually have to start parting ways with your stuff? Does that make sense? And why is that important? It's important now because companies are laying off left and right. Now, let's be honest now. Let's keep it a grand, right? Companies have been laying off since 2024. Don't fool yourself and don't get caught up into the media cycle of Doge and this, that, and other. Listen, companies have been laying off. It's not new. I've been telling y'all this since last year and the year before and the year before. So don't believe the hype, right? But let's focus on how you can protect your family, right? And the way you protect your family is that you must know your net worth so that you can grow your net worth, right? You must know your net worth so you can grow your net worth. And remember, your net worth basically says how long you can go without a check from somebody and you still be able to take care of your business, right? You ain't got to go out there and sell blood and plasma and all that, right? Okay, so let's talk about it a little bit. So what are the components of your net worth? Well, the first thing you must understand are what are your assets, right? What is it that you have that is considered an asset that if you needed to liquidate it, people will give you money for, right? This would be if you have paid off homes. In some cases, baseball cards, right? Anything that has guns in the right part of town now, in the right, in the right, in certain places, they don't put no value on guns. But anything that if you have to liquidate it, it's going to bring you in money, hopefully at a value, right? Hopefully, what I mean by that is, hopefully when you bring and you go and pawn or sell whatever it is, hopefully if you paid $5,000 for it, you're able to sell it for $10,000 or even $6,000, something where you can get a gain from it, right? So that's what we consider an asset. Well, what about my home? Well, is your home really an asset? I would argue that if you're upside down on it, it's not a value. It's not an asset, it's a liability. If you're upside down on your car, it is a liability. It's not an asset, but it helps me make money. I know, but it's costing more than what it should cost. Does that make sense? And so here we go, folks. And this is just free game now. Just take it as free game. What you should do is work on improving your credit so that you can get a lower interest rate on your loans. Because with the higher the interest rate on your loans, that's just money that you're paying out. And you don't get any value for that extra money that you pay out. Now, listen, I'm not that guy that was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I promise you now. Every mistake, I've made them all, right? So I don't talk from a place of judgment. I talk from a place of education, right? If you are paying 15, 20, 25, 30%, or 29.5% interest on a car, think about it this way. That's 30% of a vehicle that you will never have. That's literally like getting almost a third of a different vehicle that you would never have. That's how you have to look at that high interest rates, right? And again, Rob, we're supposed to be talking about net worth. I know, because once you know what your assets are, in order to determine your net worth, the second one is your liabilities. And this is where a lot of times people don't like to keep it 100, right? They don't like to keep it 100. They like to say, oh, well, you know, I'm all right. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. Again, no, you ain't. You have got to make sure that you understand what your liabilities are. And there are a couple types of liabilities. You have fixed liabilities. That would be something like if your home has a 30-year mortgage, not even the one with the balloon now, because that's not fixed. The one with the balloon can go around and boop, boop, and next thing you know, you got that the foreclosure notice on your door. So again, you've got to account for your fixed liabilities, right? That means that payment is going to be there every month, as well as your variable liabilities, right? Your variable costs. What are your variable costs? Well, a great example of that is your light bill. In the springtime, as you start getting to the fall, if you're like me, you start cutting the air on, you start cutting the heat on. You start opening the windows in the house until my wife get the fussing about it's hot or it's cold in here and we need, so whatever the case may be, right? But what happens is when you do that, the light bill kind of go down. However, in the summertime, now I'm gonna tell you, I'm the one that's gonna cut it down about. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell y'all my business, but I'm the one gonna cut that air conditioner down because I can't sleep hot. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say that is an example of a variable cost. It could go up, it could go down, right? Same thing with groceries, you know, especially with the cost of food now, it's a fluctuating cost. So again, all of these people are what we call liabilities. Why is that? Because these are things that you don't know what the actual cost of it is going to be. Now, once you figure out what your assets are and what your liabilities are, you subtract the liabilities from the assets, and that tells you your net worth. I'll say that again. You subtract your your liabilities from your assets. And that tells you what your net worth is. So let me give you some numbers. So let's just say you have the assets of $500,000, but your liabilities are $250,000. Then your net worth is $250,000. Does that make sense? That's how it works when it comes to calculating your net worth. Because what that means is, apart from your liabilities, if you didn't get another check, you could liquidate about $250,000. Does that make sense? Why is it important for you to know your net worth? Well, what really got me on this, folks. Again, I like, sometimes I just have a wild thought. Like when I'm flying, I'll have a wild thought. And I can remember I started thinking about a video I saw with TLC, the group, the ladies. And I remember wondering, like, man, I wonder what their net worth is right now. Because again, I was up in the 90s, right? Those are my years. And if I'm honest, that's where I'm stuck at. You know, don't judge me. Say what you want to say. These 2000 been kind of ugly. I'm just gonna keep it 100. Y'all can have this. I'd rather go back to the 90s, not the 80s. That was too cocained out, but the 90s was my time. All right, but either way, I remember all the songs that they had back then. And so I said, man, I know they made, man, I wonder, they got to be living pretty good right now. I wonder what their net worth is. And do you know that I saw that their net worth was really between $800,000 and $8 million. All those hits that they made was between $800,000 and $8 million. Folks, that's a problem. All those songs they made. That made me go look at a few more people. So I looked at some of these rappers around here. I remember there was the one little guy, I forget his name, but he the one did the I Heart Memphis, you know, when they had the whole little dance behind it with, I think it's the belt buckle or something either way. Less than $1 million, about $1 million. And when you understand how to calculate net worth, you realize what they're saying is, out of all them records that Big Dog sold, he's only worth about $1 million. God almighty. That's with his house, with his cars, and his bank accounts. How in the world are people that are entertainers and in the moment they entertain so well, they go on tours and do all of this and that, but yet and still, as soon as we go on to the next person, their net worth falls to the floor. And that's what got me to thinking, man, it's easy to answer that because people do it every day. Why? Because people are not tracking their net worth. Right now, we have record spending, and I'm guilty of it. I am. I don't. Yeah, I'm guilty of it. Right. If I go in the store and I see something that I want, I'm gonna get it. Thank God that we're blessed that I can do that because we have a little fat based on our overall net worth. But when I see people that don't have it, right, I sit down with people quite frequently, and I'm like, yikes, bro. Like, again, and I've been there, and it's never from a place of judgment, but like, good God Almighty, bro, how much longer is this gonna go? And it's like, man, I don't know what to do. And so my question to them, or should I say my response to them always, every time is, bro, you need a budget. We got to get you a budget. We have to get some discipline around your spending. Now, here we go. Everybody who, I ain't gonna say everybody, but most people that have been to the brink of financial ruin learned some very hard lessons, and that's how they got where they are right now, because they would not continue to do that same old goofy stuff. I know that's me all day, every day. But again, folks, at the end of the day, you could look, your personal balance sheet is your budget. How many of y'all knew that? How many of you knew that the way for you to improve your net worth is to have a budget? Oh my goodness. If you knew how easy it was, well, they say everybody would do it. And so that's one of the things that I want to leave with you today as I get ready to get out of here. I'm right about 20 minutes. The way companies are laying off, you need to bring in your spending, right? Because you don't know. None of us know what's going to go down. All of us like to think that it's going to be all good. All of us like to think that it's going to be copacetic, but we don't know. We don't know. Right now, look at what's going on with the federal government, right? Doge is getting ready to furlough and lay off a bunch of folk that don't know what's going on. They're paying them out, but guess what? if you are not disciplined with that money, and if you don't have a great net worth, then guess what? You're going to be messed off. I watched the video the other day, and an individual did something. I want y'all to do this. But they were talking about in the DMV area, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, which is around where most of the federal workers are. They said that on Zillow, the amount of houses and homes that were added to Zillow that fast because of what's going on is astronomical. Homes that, again, where it was once very difficult to find homes in that area, now there are plenty for sale. Why is that? Because folk are worried that they're going to get laid off. And so in my closing, I want to say this. You control your net worth. But I also add this part to it. You can't just develop a net worth by working on a job. It's going to be very difficult to do that, because that job in our business, we say a job stands for just over broke, right? They give you just enough money for you to come back. But I got a good boss. I hear you. But again, they give you just enough money for you to come back and work again. Now, again, if you're very efficient with your funds, then guess what? Your money goes longer. But a lot of people are not like that. A lot of people get that job and they balance their checkbook based off of, oh, where's the first? So I know I got this going in, so I can do that. And then they go into overdraft. Okay, my overdraft is $300. I'm getting paid $1,500, so that means I got $1,200. Right? That is not the way to budget, people. It's not. And I know a lot of people do it because I did it. So don't act like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I did it. We used to live like that. Me and Lady Hickman used to live like that. But again, you've got to get to the point where with that budget, you identify, okay, what is my DTI, or my debt to income ratio? How much of the money that's coming in is going out to debt, right? Ask yourself that. Folks, listen, if you don't get nothing else out of this video, if you're married or if you're single, look at what's coming in and look at what's going out. And if the ratio of what's going out is great, is even near what's coming in, you're in trouble. Trouble. If your DTI is 50%, you're in trouble. That means you can't take a water break. Because if you sneeze wrong, then now that affects your income, and now you're already upside down, right? And I'm not saying this in a way to sound demeaning, but we've got to look at stuff from a truthful standpoint. Some of us are too optimistic, and we really don't have nothing to be optimistic about right now, because our habits are toxic. And at what point in time are we excited about toxic habits? Never. We shouldn't be, right? We need to call out those habits, change those habits, and then that's when we can start doing stuff. But it starts with you. But you've got to know that your DTI, your debt to income ratio, some people say it should be about 30%. I say 30% should be something that you're working on. Because if you want to grow your net worth, watch this. The less your debt is, the more income you now have to save, to grow, and to invest. And that's how you increase your net worth. You don't increase your net worth by being in a bunch of debt. But I'm in business for myself. I'm going out here to flip these houses in real estate. Go right ahead. But I caution you to consider what happened in the pandemic. There was the eviction moratorium. Y'all remember that? When they said, no, you can't put nobody out, partner, but I still got to pay for this house. You can't put these folk out. They had it in the Memphis area where you couldn't even get in court. So you couldn't evict nobody. And so if if your DTI, even though you flipping these houses, if your DTI was 50%, guess what? A lot of people ended up selling them houses, and they sold them for less than what they were worth. I teach people, and I'm done. Folks, debt is not your friend. There are ways where you can control debt. Yes, there are. There are ways where you can build and utilize debt. Yes, you can. But having your debt to income ratio like this is a no-no. And I'll say all this to say, if you're concerned about what your net worth is, guess what? You'll do the things to make sure that your DTI stays low. Why is that? Because you will realize I may need my net worth. A lot of folk right now, like, man, I'm finna move to Canada. Had a conversation with a dude today. He said, bro, I'm about out of here. I'm about out of here. I'm finna start growing stuff on my own. I'm about out of here. I'm finna get off the grid. I'm like, fam, look at here. I wish I was that dude, but I'm just not that guy, man. I ain't that guy. As you can see, yeah, those the color of my thumbs right there. That about all I'm gonna have right there. But I want y'all to understand something. When it comes to knowing your net worth, when you start paying attention to it, you'll start doing better. It's just like your weight. When you're serious about losing weight and you start paying attention to what you eat, what time you eat, the portion size that you eat, you start seeing results. And the same thing will happen with your net worth when you start paying attention to it. Come on, ladies. Stop buying stuff on Amazon because it's cheap. Get off of Shein. Stop buying stuff on Wish and Temu, right? And save that money. Find another place to purpose that money. Come on, brothers. Stop. I can't even say that. I ain't even finna say that. I was finna say stop buying them guns, but y'all know me. I ain't even finna say that one right there. You can buy the guns, brothers, but give up the boats and the fishing rods or something like that. Stop all that. The extra stuff on the car. I ain't even finna say nothing about no gun. That's my thing right there. But at any rate, I want you to know your net worth. Sit down, talk with your loved one. Identify what your net worth is. And once you identify what your net worth is, ask them, are you okay with this? Ask them, are you okay with the fact that we're at a negative? Are you okay that we've been together 10, 15, 20, 25 years and our net worth is less than $25,000? Let me help you. If you're renting, oh my God, you don't realize how upside down you are. If you're renting a home, if you're renting an apartment, you don't realize how upside down you are because you can't even say, man, I got a house that's building equity. I got a house with equity in it I can pull out. You don't even have that. So again, this goes back to getting your credit fixed, right? A lot of time we just say, well, I don't want to do this and do that, and I'll just rent because and I need somebody to help me. Maybe one of you all can do it. Maybe you could put it in the chat. Maybe you could help me out, right? But somebody help me understand, what sense does it make if you say, I don't want to own a house because if something breaks, I'll have to pay for it. So I rent. And so if something breaks, the landlord come pay for it. Somebody help me understand that logic, right? Somebody, please help me understand that logic. Because watch this. For what you're paying in your rent, do you know the amount of money you'd be able to save per month? And be able to put that to the side in case you need it to fix the pipes, the water heat busted, whatever the case may be. Do you realize that you already have the money right here? We realize that. Again, when you are concerned about your net worth, it will cause you to start asking yourself questions. Like, hey, man, what I got to do? Again, you have a home that's your home. where you have a mortgage, and you can build equity in that home. So watch this. You're building equity in your home, plus you're saving $200, $300, $400 a month. 4 times 12 is 48. That's $4,800 a year that you be saving. Times 10 is $48,000 in 10 years that you'd save. Let's say, again, what if it's 5 years? Okay, if it's 5 years, it's $24,000 that you save, that you have, wherewith if something go wrong in your house, boom, you got the money there, plus you got the equity in the home. This is why people, I'm telling you, you must be concerned about your net worth, because you need it. You may need it. You may need it. Like I say, this was never designed to be something about scare tactics or none of that foolishness like that. This is all about you. This is about you being able to realize that, hey, man, I got to increase my net worth. You know, everybody talking about, well, Elon Musk is worth so and so and so and so and so and so, and Bill Gates and Bezos and all of that there, and they got all this money. Yeah, but what's your net worth? You know theirs, what's yours, right? Let's not be hating on them and their net worth, and you don't know your own. You've got to have your own. You've got to fix your net worth. And I say that to say that we're here to help you to do that. One of the aspects of building wealth that we help people with is we do some planning as it relates to debt elimination and debt reduction. We do. We sit down with you. We show you again how you can. It's akin to Dave Ramsey, right? We do the exact same thing when it comes to the debt stacking and all that there, and the debt snowballing, whatever you want to call it. We do that as well, and it don't cost you a thing. That's the sweet part about it. It don't cost you a thing, because our goal as generational wealth builders is to help you save, grow, and make money, right? And to grow your net worth. You can't grow what you don't know. Oh, bars right there. You can't grow what you don't know. And so I hope that you'll see this video and say, you know what, that crazy man made some sense out there tonight. God knows he did. He'll say anything, but he made some sense tonight. I hope that's your feeling tonight, because again, your net worth is going to help you, because again, you just might need it. And when you need that net worth, the worst thing in the world to happen is to not be able to have it. That is the worst thing. The worst thing you want is to need something and you don't have it. Because 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is you're going to have to go back to one of those predatory lenders. And you're going to just repeat that cycle. And you're going to repeat that cycle, right? So that's my time for tonight. I hope that you all have gotten some value from this. I hope that I've done a good job explaining to you the need for knowing your net worth. I hope that you would consider passing this information along, right? You may say, I can't really explain it like you do. Well, man, look, just share the video. Just say, there he go again, right? There he go again. But again, we're super excited to be doing what we do here. Again, want to shout out our affiliate partners, our upcoming brokers. Again, I know we got Brozell and Vicky Frazier up there in Union City. Bless you, man. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Again, super proud of you, man, for growing that area, for growing that business. You and Vicky, again, we're just looking forward to great things from you all. But with that being said, that's my time. As always, y'all, look, I love y'all. I really do. These times we get to spend together are so precious to me because they're so few and far between now. But again, I promise y'all, I'm running and gunning out here in these mean streets. Now I'm running and gunning. We're training our next wave of savages, and they're keeping us busy. And so we're super excited. But listen, if you're in the Memphis area on Tuesday night, this Tuesday night at 6:30, we're having a business mixer there at our Memphis office. And again, won't you come on through? Just come on by. Say hello, check out what we got going on there in the metropolitan city of Memphis. All right. So again, till we meet again, remember, knowledge is not power until it is applied, right? You can have an 18-wheeler truck gassed up, ready to go. And you can rev it until the day is long. But until you apply the clutch and put it in gear, you're not going nowhere. And that's the same way with this information that we've given you on tonight. So I pray that you will put it in gear. Until next time, I'm your man, Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Y'all have a good night. God bless. Bye-bye, and bye.